between friends. People throw out different numbers all the time of what us boomers own. And boomers are 60 years to 85. And, whether we like it or not, we're all going to pass. And that wealth is going to our kids and our grandkids and our philanthropy. And that generation, they're not staying with UBS. They're not staying with Merrill Lynch and Vanguard. Even Fidelity, as progressive as Fidelity is, and as great as Abby has been at adopting Bitcoin and the digital, and there's Fidelity Digital, I don't know. If you're a short seller and you're trying to, sell something that's overpriced, then in order for you to buy it back, you want the price to fall, right? That's right. What you're expecting. If you're long, you're long an asset and someone wants to buy it from you, the only way they're going to get it is if they offer you more than you think it's worth. And so that incremental pressure, but once the transaction occurs, the number of buyers and sellers are exactly the same.
Yeah. And so with that being said, how do you feel about the volatility of this asset class, Bitcoin? Are we done with the days of 80% corrections in bear markets, or how do you feel about
that? It depends. So the volatility is here to stay, right? Amazon, 28 years into being a public company, still has very high volatility. Every conversation earlier, but then secondly, they FOMO, right? They see something moving and they got to get in. So the price goes up above fair value.
Right.
But then what happens is leverage comes in and the gamblers and the speculators come in, and that pushes the price way above fair value. But at some point, gravity takes over and you head back toward fair value and usually crash right through. And then you get to a washed out, really undervalued because you got margin calls and you got the unraveling.
It's going to be interesting though, because, with boomers, they're not used to a 60% retrace. Like, we're used to it. I'm used to it. You're used to it probably by now. I'm just wondering what that looks like for them when they see their Bitcoin.
The problem. They're not going to be diamond hands either. They're not going to be hodlers. If this thing, look, what's going to happen, in my opinion, is the halving is going to occur. The fair value is going to increase because that's what happens when the halving occurs. The fair value goes up because the price needs to adjust to support the miners. Now, in this cycle, there's something out of thin air and sell it. So in the old days, oil, natural gas, any commodity, gold. In the olden days, if I had oil and I wanted to sell it to you, I had to have the oil, right? I had to be able to go get the oil, put it in a barrel, send it to you, and settle up. And then the futures came along and said, no, you can just write a contract that I'll sell you a paper barrel of oil, and then I could pretend that I'm going to go get a barrel of oil. But as long as we settle up the contract before I need to get the barrel, no problem. So that allows people to naked short. And if you look at, gold prices for years have been artificially suppressed because the big players can sell naked in the market.
That was literally my next question. That was my COMEX. I'm wondering, is the COMEX effect going to occur? I swear, it's literally the next question. Is the COMEX effect going to occur in
long term?
Right.
Those guys are going to win.
What's the sentiment? Like, I'm hearing from people in the space, like, this is the last bull run for us, small guys.
Look, is it the last big increase, like multiples? Kinda. And if you think about it, when it went from 0.003 cents to $1, that was a miracle, right? That was the miracle of Bitcoin, that it survived like the startup phase, the science experiment. Getting to $1 was the miracle.
Right.
Then running from $1 to $10, that's amazing. 10 times your money. But then it fell 80%. Then it went from $2 to 300. Oh my gosh, 150 times. And then it fell to like 186 or something. Then it went to 1,000. and then it went back down to 200, and then it went to 20,000, and then it went back to 3,000. So
Yep.
going from 1,000 to 20,000, just math, right? 20,000 exactly.
Right?
But it's not that the thing got better, it's that the money got worse.
Right.
So if you put money into Bitcoin today and the money keeps getting worse, then it's going to go up. And that's why I say all the time, one Bitcoin's one Bitcoin. Will always be one Bitcoin. It'll be that 2-bedroom house. But the average person today feels priced out of the housing market, but they can own Bitcoin because they can own fractional units.
I wonder what the future us are going to say, maybe generations from now. I think it's still too volatile, but you know how they say gold, 1 ounce of gold will buy you a nice suit. I wonder what they're going to say about one Bitcoin. What will one Bitcoin, after it settles, what will it buy you? I wonder.
Yeah. No,
is it a house?
It's a great point.
Is it a?
No, it's a great point. So today, right? $68,000 is is what? It's a nice car. It's not even a super car. It's a nice car. I mean, you can get a good EV. You can get a good Kia EV6 for about 68 grand.
Wow.
Which is what that's what gets me to put on hoodies. Is I love hanging out with these young, talented, ambitious, enthusiastic people because it's just fun. I'm having more fun than I've ever had. And I love my career. That's not saying I didn't love working at universities. Right. I didn't love being the asset man. It's just fun. And to be around that many people collectively at an event like this was fantastic. And I love the fact that it was in New York because, a lot of times all these events are elsewhere, right? They're Puerto Rico or, down in Miami and trying to, but New York is still the center of the financial universe. Now, maybe London.
Well, I don't know for how much longer with Lieta and the stuff going on with Trump, man. That's a little weird,
Forks and bonfires and French Revolution wasn't pretty. It happened.
Right.
And Napoleon got kicked out, and Louis and took a long time for them to recover, and they lost being superpowers because of it. But that's how empires end. Empires end in anarchy because the power that you use to grab the mantle leads to the politics of cronyism, and you put your friends in power, and everybody's like, think about this. We saw, and this is not political. It's just Mitch McConnell was the guy who actually said it. And he said, that money that we vote for, it's not going to Ukraine. I mean, it's going to Ukraine, but then it's coming back to us, and it's going to companies in my jurisdiction that I own a little piece of. And he just said it out loud. And I was like, wow.